it's also seen.
So this morning we're around 10 kilometres south of Coriole in our Willunga vineyard. You probably can't see, I'm not sure you can, but there's the foothills we're in the foothills. The Willunga range sits just behind us. And this is a vineyard that we call Willunga 1920, pretty simply for the fact that it's in Willunga and we think it was planted in 1920. It was a vineyard that came into our family's ownership around 30 years ago. And it's been, I guess, 20 years of really bringing it up to scratch and realising its potential, because that certainly wasn't recognised initially. Initially it was a pretty decrepit old vineyard. And through, I guess, a return to an organic system, although not yet certified, as you can see around us, it's a pretty biodiverse environment, very rich, healthy, alive soils, no fertiliser used, only organic compost and some mulch. And as you can see, I mean, now obviously it's spring, but it is a beautifully vibrant, very healthy vineyard that over the past, I guess, 10 years, we've really started to see vast quality improvements. So 2011 was the first time that we bottled a single vineyard wine from this year, from this vineyard, and we've done it around 6 or 7 times in the last decade. And from 2018, in our blind assessment tastings, this wine was basically on par with our Lloyd Shiraz vineyard as the top wine. All those tastings are done blind. And so now we're seeing great consistency, and we hope that year in, year out, we can bottle a single vineyard wine from this vineyard.
So when it comes to the winemaking, I guess, it really starts about this time of year. So we spend a lot of time, out in the vineyards. We're looking at our shoot growth, what the season's really giving us and the setup for the vine. So we want to look at our growth on the vine, our sort of bunch numbers and set, and doing the work now in the vineyard to make sure that we have the ultimate fruit in about 4 months' time when we come to harvest. And that's really important to get the sort of even ripeness and the quality of fruit that we're looking for, particularly for this sort of style of wine. So another important part of this vineyard is it is hand-picked. That gives us the ability also to make sure we leave any uneven bunches on the vine and only take the best bunches. In the winery, we use open fermenters for this block. It's just a single fermenter, so we can really give a lot of care and make sure we take care of the fruit. And then really it's just about the fruit expressing itself. We spend about 18 months in French oak, only about 20% new, and really it, like Peter mentioned in our blind tastings, it really has shown up as just having a wine of great sort of intensity and depth, but also with a bit more of a kind of a floral lift to it than perhaps our Lloyd block sort of on the Coriole site. So different soils giving similar depth and richness, and real McLaren Vale fruit, but with some differences as well.
And quite a pretty low yielding vineyard. If I'm just looking around, it's about 2 acres. We may get 3 tonne, which would convert to around 200 cases maximum production. So that's 1.5 tonne to the acre is pretty standard for this block, which is quite low, but obviously helps to build a beautifully concentrated and rich wine, which I guess we should try.
Yeah, try it in the vineyard.
So this is released basically this week. We typically would release these reserve wines in October. The Lloyd Shiraz from 2018 spends an extra year in the bottle, and I guess there's a very precise reason for that, and that's really around tannin. So whilst the Willunga vineyard is a premium block, the tannin is typically a little softer and typically suits an earlier release than the Lloyd Shiraz. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think definitely, and it's the Lloyd block has a real depth and richness of tannin, and you see that in this wine, but it has a much sort of more I guess it's a sort of a silkier, more floral note to it.
Just give a little bit back to the vineyard that created it. But yeah, look, lovely, rich. It is a full-bodied, rich McLaren Vale Shiraz, but lovely silky tannin and quite a perfumed floral nose. Cellaring-wise, 10 to 15 years probably. And food match would be something quite richly flavoured. It's got a lot of an umami-like character, so very savoury elements as well. So roast beef or rich roast root vegetables would work well.
Yeah, straight off the bat here, I'm seeing a bit of that kind of your soy character, but with a sort of a lavender like lift behind it as well. Lots of sort of dark mulberries and plums, some sort of star anise and spice. And just a beautifully rich palate, lots of flavour.
It's very luscious and mouth-filling. Lovely 100-year-old McLaren Vale Shiraz. So as you can see, the labelling now sits in our reserve range, so alongside Lloyd Shiraz, Mary Kathleen and Beta Sangiovese. That's not a decision we take lightly, like I mentioned earlier. That's taken decades to prove itself and to achieve that consistency. It's, as I mentioned, as previously, it's very limited production. We produce around 200 cases. It's released today, although half of it is pre-sold. So look, we really encourage you to take a bottle and try it and see what you think, because I'm sure you'll be very impressed.
Cheers.